There's a mystery about honeybees that I want to talk about today, and it's a mystery of honeybees disappearing. And I'm not talking about colony collapse disorder, where bees might disappear, but I'm talking about the time when all your bees are there, everything looks great, and all at once, the whole hive is empty. Nobody's there. There's another time that's kind of a mystery, and that's when everything's going good with your hive. It looks great, and then all at once, one day you go out there and you see all these bees flying out of it. Just everybody's flying out. There they go, and you think, well, where are they going? And they just make this huge cloud of bees, and they just fly away. But then when you go back and open up your hive, you see that the bees are still there, and it's a mystery. Well, I want to talk to you today because it's really important you understand this. One's called absconding, and one is called swarming. And I want to illustrate this with my coffee beans. Let's go. So this is a colony of honeybees, and I'm going to let you try to find the queen, and I'm going to give you a hint. She's marked the color of green, and she has a retinue. She's got a few bees surrounding her, taking care of her. Okay, good. You found her, right? She's right here in the middle. So here's what a swarm looks like. It's when about half of the colony leaves, and half of them stay behind. So in other words, we'll just take about half of this colony and pretend that it swarms away, and then the old queen, this here queen, will leave. She will leave with this swarm. And back home we have about 50%, 40 to 50% of the old colony still here without a queen, but they're raising a new one to replace the old one. This is called swarming, and every healthy colony usually swarms after they're about 2 years old. Now, here's our colony again. Absconding is when everybody leaves. The queen, all the bees, they're not leaving anybody behind. Everybody just takes off at one time and goes away. And your colony, your hive, is completely empty. Occasionally, like when installing a package of bees, all the bees will abscond, and sometimes you might find the queen with several bees left behind. Now, sometimes when installing a new package, which is what many of you will be doing this spring, you got to think about how to keep the bees in that hive once you put the package in your new beehive. And this is especially for those of you that are buying multiple hives, or those of you that are buying new equipment. The first thing I want you to think about is that a scout bee, bees in general, and that's what a package is. It really is a swarm that it's been artificially created, but it is a swarm, right? And swarms traditionally look for a nesting place of about 5 gallons. And sometimes if it's too big, they don't want to make that their nesting spot. They don't want to make that their new hive. If it's too small, they don't want to either. They don't have enough room. A 5-gallon bucket approximately is about what a scout bee is looking for in order to make that new home. So when you think about size of the nesting place, that's equal to about a 5-frame nuke box. So when you put them inside a full-size deep hive body, and I know there's no other choice, I'm going to give some suggestions on how you can keep that package from absconding completely, all the bees just leaving. I read somewhere where absconding, when installing a new package like that, absconding occurs about 25% of the time. Now that seems pretty high. I don't see those kind of numbers with our customers or when I do it either. But I do still see some absconding at times. I want to give you some hints that will help you today when you're thinking about how to deal with those packages not absconding. Okay, so let me just say that there's nothing that can guarantee or ensure that a new package won't abscond. There are some things that we can do to at least assuage our fears about absconding. And here's some suggestions I'm going to give you. I want you to seal off your bottom board, because it's important to have screen bottom boards on a hive. That helps with mite control, ventilation, but installing a new package, the bees can see right down through the hive and they can see a lot of light. Remember, bees are looking for a dark nesting place where they can make that new colony their home. So I would suggest just taking a piece of cardboard, a real thin piece of cardboard, and just slide it over the open screen. After the bees have settled down and they're going to stay in there maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, you can just pull the cardboard out and then you have your mite control and your ventilation. Also, another point that I want to make is that when you're installing hives, multiple hives, packages in multiple hives, maybe some of you are buying 2 packages for 2 hives, 3 hives, 6 hives, don't put them right beside each other, like hive, 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 because sometimes they'll start to stretch their wings after you install them. They may start flying around, and as they do, all at once bees are confused where to go. There creates kind of a frenzy of bees flying in the air, and all at once 1, 2, or some of those bees can start emptying out of their hive. Okay, so again, I want you to space out your hives at least about 30 feet apart when installing new packages. Now you can move them together later, closer, after they've been accepted and they're living comfortably together, and everybody looks like they're getting along fine. You can move them closer together, and there's a way to do that. So we'll talk about that in another vlog. So after you install them though, make sure they're 30 feet apart, and I want you to face them different directions. If you're getting 6 colonies, for example, 6 new hives, then I want you to put them 30 feet apart if you have that much space, and let this one face this direction, this one face that direction, the openings of the colony, 30 feet apart, right? Make them face different directions, or put them by different landmarks. Put that one by a rock, this one over here by a tree. If in the future you want them all lined up kind of cool, because look at all the hives or colonies that I have, you can move them later, but not just yet. Another thing you want to think about, so you have them facing different directions. A lot of people will say, well, what if I just put them real close together and paint them a different color? That can work, but beware that bees don't really see the same colors as we see. They don't see red at all. They see more of ultraviolet light. So in other words, I want you to use symbols. Like if you have a light blue and a dark blue, bees may not be able to distinguish blue from green. There's not a real big color difference like that. So I want you to use symbols, a number sign. Sometimes I'll cut out little black squares, little black triangles, number signs, and I'll stick them on the front of the opening where the bee's flying it out. That helps bees a lot. Another thing I want you to think about is feeding that new package when you install it. Pollen patties are great to help them stay honeybee healthy. It smells like lemongrass. That's some of the smells of a pheromone that bees like to eat. That honeybee healthy with that lemongrass smell to it. Try to use that, and also spray your frames with that sugar water solution with honeybee healthy. And if you're able to, you should use drawn comb. Now, some of you are brand new beekeepers and you don't have drawn comb. Okay, that's fine. Just use undrawn foundation. But if you have it, use some drawn comb. 4 millimeters, because when a queen measures it before she lays an egg, it tells her it's a drone cell, and so she turns off the sperm valve and she doesn't fertilize it when she lays in this frame, and she lays a drone. So you have this whole frame of drones. So all the mice are like, drone cells, and they jump in here.